Hey, welcome to the Hygrometer channel. AJ here, and for this video what I got lined up is a simple tutorial on how to calibrate your digital hygrometers for your Tupperdors and your humidors. Of course, there's more than one way to skin a cat, and there's a lot of different ways you can calibrate a hygrometer. You know, you've got the salt method, which you use just salt water, bringing it up to 75% humidity. There's also Boveda humidity calibration kits specifically designed for calibrating a hygrometer. And another method is just using your regular Boveda packs that you probably already have to calibrate your hygrometer, which is what we're going to be doing in this video. And I don't know, maybe there's other ways to do this, but this is just the process that I like to go through and what I found works best for my hygrometers. So let's talk about what you're going to need for this setup. It's super simple, very easy. All you're going to need is, of course, your digital hygrometer of choice, a Boveda pack, maybe even two if you like, and definitely we're going to use 2 Ziploc bags. And so when it comes to hygrometers, I use these Gobi hygrometers. They're super small form factor, so you can tuck them away anywhere in your humidor. I have about 4 of them in my Needone Humidor. They're very easy to calibrate using their integrated app. Just download that to your phone. What I'm using here are the Bluetooth models. They also make a Wi-Fi model as well, which allows you to check the readings pretty much from anywhere you are. For pretty much as long as I've been using them, they've been very consistent and pretty reliable. The number one downside to these things is that they have pretty bad battery life. These things drain pretty quickly, especially if you're checking the apps and downloading that historical data pretty frequently. That's definitely going to drain that battery out fast, so just keep that in mind. And regarding the Boveda packs, like I already mentioned, we're going to use just your regular Boveda pack straight from your humidor. Now, is the calibration kit that they make more accurate? Absolutely. The Boveda pack that's specifically for calibrating a hygrometer, it's made with a Boveda pack that is much more precise than the regular one. Is it a huge difference? That's for you to decide. But my thinking is to calibrate the hygrometer at the same RH that they're going to be living at in my humidor, which is going to be, for me, 62%. Which is why my preferred way to do this is to use the same Boveda packs that you would be using for your cigars to calibrate your digital hygrometer as well. That way everything is on that same range. So even after you calibrate it to that Boveda, there can still be some discrepancies here and there, but it shouldn't be anything major. And as far as Ziploc bag sizes, I would try to use a smaller size. Like I would not go bigger than a 1 quart size Ziploc bag. And we're going to be using 2 so that we lock in that moisture in there. So we're going to double bag these and put one inside the other to really lock it in. Okay, and you're going to see it's extremely easy to get these things calibrated. So let's jump straight into it. Step 1, we're going to take the Boveda pack and take the hygrometer and put it inside one of the Ziploc bags. Seal that up. And then take that entire Ziploc bag and put it in the other one that we've got, and we're going to seal that up as well, locked in, airtight. Step 2 is take this entire bag and place it in a humidor or wherever your Tupperdor is going to be staying or your cigars are going to be living at most of the time. And we're going to leave this there for the next 24 to 48 hours. Patience is key here. And on to step 3. After 24 to 48 hours have passed, it's time to calibrate the hygrometer and make your adjustments. So whatever it's reading right now, you want to match it to the Boveda pack that you're using to calibrate it. So for me, it needs to be reading 62% at this point, so I'll make my adjustments accordingly. And this is why I like these companion apps that go with these digital hygrometers, because you can make your adjustments and calibrate the hygrometer without ever opening that seal and letting that humidity out or letting all of that change. Because as soon as you open that Ziploc, things are going to change pretty quickly, but keeping it sealed makes sure that we are able to keep everything as precise as we can. And now, after you've made these adjustments, we're going to wait another 24 to 48 hours to just confirm that everything is calibrated and reading correctly. And step 4, the last and final step, once the 24 to 48 hours are up, if it's reading correctly, the same as what's on your Boveda pack, or even within 1 to 2%, we are good to go. This thing is calibrated, it's solid. If it isn't, then you might just have to repeat that last step one more time, give it another try for another 48 hours. just a few important tips and some pointers when it comes to calibrating your hygrometer, especially for a cigar setup. Temperature is important, so we want to mimic the same environment that the hygrometer is going to be tracking your cigars in. So wherever you keep your Tupperdors, that's where you want to keep this calibration process happening. So especially if you're going to be using it in a humidor that's with a controlled temperature, like I was using for my Needone, I calibrated my hygrometers in there, and it's really nice to have that temperature, perfectly consistent and exactly the same as what it would be when my cigars are stored in there. That's just going to help calibrate the hygrometer to be even more precise. And another tip is if you can wait, 3 days for each step in the process, every time you make a change to the hygrometer calibration, go ahead and wait like 3 days. I think that's perfect. 48 hours would be fine, but 3 days would really be even more beneficial if you just want to get it as precise as you can. Even though these things will never be really perfect, I mean, you're always going to have maybe even 1% difference between, the actual humidity and what it's reading. But I think this kind of helps it get a little bit more precise. At least that's in my opinion. Also, if you have more than one hygrometer, it's a great chance to do them all at the same time and get them all in sync and calibrated in the same environment. This is a perfect time to just do them all at once. So put them all in that same Ziploc bag. And the last tip I got for you guys is to make sure you calibrate your hygrometers every 3 to 4 months. This is just like regular upkeep, regular maintenance. It's good to do this, especially, as your Bovedas, they start to get consumed and they run out of their, whatever it is that they have that keeps the humidity regulated. But as the Bovedas start to lose their life, it's definitely a good time to change out those Bovedas and to recalibrate your hygrometers as well. And that about wraps it up. I hope you guys found this video helpful. Make sure you check out other videos on the channel. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you. See you guys on the next one. Peace.